Daryl Ruiter joins us right now. It's brought to you by Shivan Jewelers, Cleveland's premier jewelry store. Hello, Daryl.
Hello, Ken. That's an award-winning segue right there.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll tell you this, you can see Daryl's glorious puss right there on YouTube live. It's right there. You can see him as the camera's eventually going to cut in. You're on a little bit of a delay, but they're eventually going to see you and all your bobbleheads behind you and everything like that.
He does post-game with Andy Baskin, too. His brownie bites yesterday was phenomenal.
Brownie bites. They have brownie bites after the game with him and Baskin. So they're fantastic, and I'm sure they did a lot of hits, and perfectly so. They should. Daryl, I got so frustrated. I didn't think I was going to be frustrated, and then I started screaming at Anthony this morning because it's the same thing. It's a play. It's a play, and it's a play with different people. So, eventually, I don't know much about theater, okay? This can't be happening at McDonald Hall. Well, I'm sure there were original actors, and then it changes actors. And all we're doing is we're seeing the same bad play with different people. It's all it is. I'm upset. It hit me like a ton of bricks yesterday. I'm upset that Quinshon Judkins isn't out there on 1st and goal at the 3. I'm hearing Nathan, he's not thrilled about him not being out there on 1st and goal at the 3. I go, my God, we said the same thing about Nick. It's the same offense. It's the same thing every single year. It's indefensible. I can't do it anymore. You've not evolved. Everybody else, McVay, Shanahan, down the line, they all evolved. They have not evolved. And I don't want to hear anything about, well, they got new play. That doesn't matter to me. I'm tired of hearing it. There is zero defense for it. Zero, Tone. Daryl, zero. I'm sorry. I'm used to yelling at Tone. Go ahead, Daryl.
I'm not coaching this train wreck, okay? It's not my fault, I swear. But you're absolutely right, Ken. It hasn't mattered the quarterback. It hasn't mattered who's calling plays. It hasn't mattered who the coordinator is. It is Groundhog Day, week in and week out. The fact that you go back to the start of last season and this team has only scored 20 or more points 3 times over a 23-game span is absurd. Dylan Gabriel ain't it. And I hate to judge him 2 starts in, but there's no spark there. He's clearly not very mobile. We saw that yesterday. Not accurate. We saw that yesterday. So the 2 things that we were told that, hey, this is what he's bringing to the table, okay, I didn't see that against the Pittsburgh Steelers yesterday. And in the fourth quarter, some of the looks on Kevin Stefanski's face, it appeared like he was just accepting his fate. That this is what it is, and there's nothing he can do. And he was asked after
should have
the
given
game
him a cigarette and a blindfold out there for the football team. It was terrible.
Yeah.
And the post game, it's exactly as you describe it. There was an error to him. We're getting emails about it as well, Daryl. There's an error to it. It's like, yep, this is what it is. It ain't going to get any better.
Yeah, but, and he couldn't even sell it. Like, he got asked, hey, can you fix this mess? And even he couldn't. He said, yeah, we can, but, when you actually listen to what he said, Ken, not buying it. It is what it is, and the unfortunate thing is that there are weeks and weeks and weeks more of this to go. By the way, swapping Dylan Gabriel for Shedeur Sanders is not going to fix this mess either. Shedeur Sanders can't save it, all right? It might actually give folks a little something to watch just for the interest and the engagement and all that, but Shedeur isn't going to fix this, and that's not a knock on Shedeur. It's that bad. Right now, I just don't think this is fixable, and that's unfortunate, and that's also on Kevin Stefanski.
Well, Daryl, a few weeks ago, I asked you about the hot seat, and you said no chance, not on the hot seat. Are you at least open to discussing it? Because I've seen people kind of come around, and they're like, yeah, this actually could happen before the end of the season.
Yeah, I don't know what good a change in season would do. And really, and Andy Baskin and I talked about this yesterday after the game on YouTube. What do you do? Do you turn it over to Jim Schwartz? He does have head coaching experience, obviously, former head coach of the Detroit Lions. I certainly am not turning it over to Bubba Ventrone. Bubba Ventrone can't even coach his own special teams unit. So why am I going to turn the whole football team over to him, even though he's the associate head coach, along with being the special teams coordinator? It's the language they had to put in, I guess, to get him out of Indianapolis. But who you have to have a solution. It's easy to sit here and say this morning, yeah, you've got to make a change. Kevin's got to go. It's stale. It's boring. There is no adjustments. There is no adaptation to players. The personnel on the field in certain situations just is not right. Don't know what he's thinking. And then, of course, the record being what the record is, again, going back to the start of last season. They are playing offensively right now at the 1999 and 2000 expansion Browns level. That's inexcusable for the talent they have. I know the offensive line is beat up. I know that the left tackle situation might be the worst in the National Football League right now. Okay? You might be better off setting a trash can out there at left tackle than what you've been able to put out there. But it is what it is. I don't know. Maybe scheme some stuff up to help that situation out a little bit. But when you don't have answers for this stuff, that's when seats start to become hot, Anthony. And I don't feel like Kevin Stefanski right now, as much as I respect him and like him, I don't think he has any answers right now, and that's his job.
All right, Daryl joining us right now. Offensive line, it is something that, regardless of who's going to play quarterback, they have been a revolving door, both figuratively and literally. Yeah. 6 different units in 6 weeks, and I don't see that getting any better. So how does the coach kind of get creative? What's the workaround there?
Well, I think you have to plant a tight end next to them on every snap, no matter what. And that's not about making yourself predictable. It's about helping out a very, very weak spot. You've got a rookie quarterback out there, too. Keep that in mind. And you want to give this kid as much of an opportunity as you can to be successful. And when it's a jailbreak on that side of the line on just about every snap, you're not doing that. Obviously, you can chip coming out of, use the running backs to do some chipping too. But that was really bad yesterday as far as the protection for Dylan Gabriel and giving him the requisite time, and maybe that had something to do with the accuracy. By the way, it would also help that when he is accurate, if Jerry Jeudy would catch the football, that would be great. He's the number one receiver on the team. He's not the only problem, but he's becoming part of the problem. The opening series was everything in microcosm, right? He gets the personal foul, and then he drops the football. Nothing encapsulates the season that he is having than those 2 plays back to back. And so you don't get to clap back at reporters when you're not doing your own job. And Jerry Jeudy's not doing his own job. And a lot of guys aren't doing their own job. And when we hear about, hey, everyone's got to do their 1/11th and just do their job. Well, okay, that's great. When can we expect that to start to happen? That's my question.
Was anything good yesterday?
Well, I thought the defense was pretty good for a while. It's like you said, Ken, it's Groundhog Day, where defense hangs tough for a while, and then in the fourth quarter, the late third quarter, fourth quarter, the tank starts to run on E a little bit. But I thought the defense was pretty good. Myles Garrett was neutralized. That was a little disappointing to see, but again, you gave up 23 points. The first 3 scoring drives of the Steelers, even though 2 of those were in the double-digit play variety, you held them to field goals. You're down 9-0. That is a very tenable situation for any other NFL team except the Cleveland Browns. 9-0 felt like 21-0. Mm-hmm. It really did. And that's what's just so frustrating, that this offense is so inept, it's boring, and I wish I had solutions for Browns fan this morning. I don't. I am of the belief this is not fixable this year, and that's unfortunate. And it is what it is, and fans are just going to have to grin and bear it until the end of the year, whenever the organization makes changes, if they decide to make changes, and then another offseason of endless optimism and hope can begin.
All right, Daryl. Well, when we look at the different aspects of that wide receiver room, that's another area where they just don't have a lot of answers. You saw the ball go off the head of, Isaiah Bond. You had the issues with Jerry Jeudy.
Wasn't even looking for the ball. And again, no play encapsulates this offense better than that. Not paying attention, not understanding what's going on. You're in the red zone and you have a touchdown pass hit you in the side of the helmet. You're not even expecting it. It's inexcusable, but it's a young player. He's an undrafted rookie free agent there, and hopefully he learns from that, and hopefully Dylan Gabriel learns from it, and the offense learns from it. I just feel like we say the same thing every week. Well, hopefully they learn from this situation. Hopefully they're able to make some adjustments, and that doesn't happen
again.
They're
all veterans. What are they going to learn? What are they going to learn? They're all veterans. What's there left to learn? I got one guy who's ending his career at the end of the season. And that's sad. He's going to go out with a whimper. He's a great lineman. If they would have been any better, I could have made a Hall of Fame argument for. I can't. They're 1-5. They're a mess. What are they going to learn? What is anybody going to learn? See, that's half the problem, Daryl. That's half the damn problem here. And I'm trying to do my best not to cuss, but there's nothing left to learn. That's why you're in the situation, because they ain't learned nothing. They've been here, and that's just what it is. It's just accepted. You get your check at the end of the week, and you take your losses. That's what it is. It's a mid to low-level Big Ten team that joins the Big Ten just for the TV contract. You take the check, you take the losses. And that's what's permeated. That's what it is. So what's there left to learn? There ain't nothing to learn. The only thing I could hope that's learned is that the pups don't accept it. That's the only thing I could hope.
100%.
That Carson Schlesinger goes, enough's enough. Like they had, like Cam Scatabo. I know everybody's talking about him, and everybody just wants us to shut up about him in the media and the fans. At the end of that game on Thursday night, what did Scatabo do? He came out and said it. He said, this has been a losing franchise for a long time, and it has to change. He said it. Now, it's easy to say it after a win. You got a rookie who stood there in his undershirt after a big win and says, this has been a losing franchise for far too long, and it has to change. And that's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping that Judkins or Schlesinger or Mason Graham or Hayden Huntington, somebody. Because ain't your name better with the vets, guys. Sorry, it's either too late or it ain't going to happen with some of them.
Yeah,
There's nothing Joel can do anymore to change this. It is what it is.
Yep, and Myles Garrett, saying after the game it's frustrating as hell. Well, Myles, you've been here. Step up. Do something. You wanted to be traded because this is what you foresaw, and then you took your $40 million. So now do something. Like they bought your loyalty, they bought your happiness with the situation. You've been here since 2017. Your first season here, you didn't win a game. Do something about it. And I realized that maybe leadership just isn't in his personality. He just is a great player that goes out there and does his thing. But, getting up there and saying it's frustrating as hell, okay, great. What are you going to do about it? And I've said this time and time again, Ken. We can bellyache about coaching and scheme and all those things. But it always comes down to the players and their own desires and their own want to. These guys either want to get their act together or they don't. They either want to go out there and perform at a better level than we have seen them perform, especially on the offensive side of the ball, or they want to sit and collect their paycheck, like you said, every 2 weeks. That's on them. For as much as we can criticize Kevin Stefanski and the scheme, the lack of adjustments, the curious usage of personnel or non-usage of personnel in situations, we can talk about that stuff till we're red in the face. And clearly you have this morning. But it's on the players. It's on those 53 guys in that locker room. You either want to, my worry is that they aren't accepting it. That this is, okay, it is what it is. And no, that's not the attitude you should be having here. 1-5, this is not, and should not be a 1-5 team, even though we all kind of felt like this is very well where they could be. But the path to how they got here is frustrating because they shouldn't be 1-5. And if people on the field, in between the white lines, did their jobs better, they'd have 2 or 3 wins right now. And the tone of the conversation would be a lot better, a lot more positive. Your face wouldn't be as red this morning. You guys wouldn't be taking calls from angry fans this morning. But this organization, I have said this for years, this organization has a culture problem. It always has. And the only way the culture can change is if the players change it. And I don't feel like this group of players so far is changing the culture yet.
Nope. Daryl, I just want to state for the record, and God Almighty, I wasn't yelling at you.
I know.
I appreciate your time, and I appreciate you dealing with me, and thank you very much.
Well, hopefully better days are ahead, Ken, but I fear those aren't on the way until probably January.
Well, great. Daryl, thank you. Thank you.
You bet, guys.
Take care. Daryl Ruiter. He'll be with us on Friday again. I'll hopefully be in a much better